faster than most video reviewers, more powerful than shitty DC fanboys, able to leap terrible critiques in a single bound. These amazing strangers from the planet Hyphen, the men of semi-decent durable material. Remember the Hyphen.
Still not able to sit through the Snyder Cut. What's up, everybody? I'm Average Joe Squad.
I'm Zugget 234.
And welcome to Remember the Hyphen, the show where we look at comic books, movies, and everything in between. And we have something very special planned for tonight. Something that I'm surprised we haven't done.
Yeah.
Given that we went and saw one of these in the theater during COVID.
I mean, if you can't guess by my stupid intro, we're reviewing the original Superman movies.
And ironically, I had bought this before we decided to do these. This came in the mail today, so it was kind of perfect timing. This is the 14-disc Superman Ultimate Collection, which has everything up to Superman Returns, which is kind of nice because it's got both the director's cuts of the first one and Superman 2, while also having the theatricals. So it's a nice-ass set. I got this for like $16.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal for the stuff that's in it. So yeah, no real reason we're doing this. It's basically we're getting up to the time for us to start filming the anniversary episode.
It's totally not that we don't know what the fuck to review.
And also
we're making this up as we go.
We're also in the middle of catching up with Miss Marvel, which hopefully will be this week.
Hopefully. I'm binging it tomorrow because I gotta get caught up.
I'm starting to binge it, so I hopefully we can record that next week. Hopefully. In case something stupid happens. But so yeah, and basically we chose something where we could easily review it without having to rewatch all the films.
And plus, not to mention, we've already done all the Batman movies from the 90s, so like it kind of felt like we should have done this sooner.
Yeah, like especially because this is like the beginning of superhero films, more or less. I mean, I know there were some
modern era.
Yeah, there were before this, but this is like the beginning of the blockbuster superhero film.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically we talked about this the first film. You know, basically the idea was that they were going to make a film about Superman with the tagline, "You will believe a man can fly." They got Christopher Reeves, aka the guy who basically more or less set the design for Superman from that period onwards, like to the point where even the comics still draw him mostly as Reeves even to this day. And
again, we saw this during COVID when our local theater put it back up. I'm pretty sure it was the director's cut version.
It was.
Yeah. But even still, it was cool to just be able to be like, because we went and saw Batman 89, like the last night they had it on.
Yeah.
And then I checked the next day and I was like, bro, they got fucking Superman. We need to go see this.
And then we went and saw that and recorded it.
Yeah, that was fun to just see that in the theater on the big screen. Like we were like the only ones there, so it was like a private screening.
Yeah, although as much as I enjoy those reviews, the fact that we reviewed those in my in my front lawn in the car kind of shows their age because we were afraid of getting yelled at the Sheetz parking lot.
Yeah, which honestly, now that we have these, we should throw the rest of these on for a movie night at some point.
Yeah, I mean we have a projector.
Yeah, so for the most part, we kind of already talked about our experience watching this film in the theater, which I think fits it perfectly because it's such a grand.
Oh yeah,
a grand idea, a grand story. You know, we see the origin of Superman. We see him become, the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I think it works so well on the big screen. Like, it works obviously well in the home media sense, but like seeing it up on the big screen, it has a certain type of charm to it.
Yeah.
Not to mention, we were both surprised. A lot of those effects still hold up.
Yeah,
really fucking well.
A lot of them, like
the only one that doesn't is that fucking weird face Christopher Reeves does when he's screaming at the end of the movie.
Which I get why that's like that. It's supposed to be he's in like huge amount of anguish, but it don't work.
No, it doesn't. But
the thing that holds up the most from that was the box of Cheerios that Clark eats in the one part where you and I were like,
I was laughing at the TV. Remember, I was like, damn, look at that TV.
No, it also you can see a lot of where they got ideas for Smallville, like like that outfit
Yeah.
Clark wears, that I'm pretty sure is the one that he wears the most in like the early episodes of Smallville, which I'm like, that's a
Direct homage.
deep cut, but
But yeah, not to mention, I actually read a book, which is out of print, and I don't know if that's ever gonna get reprinted. It's the making of this film.
Yeah,
it's in a cheap ass paperback. I was so ginger with that thing because like I'm afraid the spine's gonna snap on that because it's already brittle.
yeah,
So I read it all in like one night, just being very very careful with it.
yeah.
But I would love to see that get reprinted, but I don't know if I don't know if it ever will. But because it was made during that, like when they wrote that, I forget his name. Donner hadn't even got fired yet when that got published.
Yeah.
So that was like current when that came out. But it definitely showed like why this was such a big deal of a film when it came out, because this was a financial risk. You know, they were over budget. It was taking so long. You know, they were shooting 1 and 2 at the same time until they finally decided this is taking too fucking long.
Yeah, so let's just say
just shoot the first one, finish it, then we'll come back.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, a lot of that had to do with the fact that when DC gave the rights, they gave it to Canon Films, a film company that's known for basically making shitty schlock films.
That wasn't until the fourth one.
That wasn't until the fourth one?
No.
We did
It was...
Which we'll get into.
Yeah, you're thinking of Quest for Peace.
Okay, I thought they were
Canon. No, Canon didn't get it until the fourth one.
Okay, I thought they. Okay. Well, then never mind. But I retract my statement. But yeah, and again, keep in mind, like
this was by International Film Production and distributed by Columbia, EMI, and Warner Distributors.
Oh well,
so it was a Warner Brothers movie.
It was obviously a Warner Brothers movie, but you also keep in mind they didn't know if this would do well, because at the time the most superhero stuff you saw
was like 60s Batman, both the movie and the show, the 50s Superman show,
yeah,
the serials, a Captain America serial, which was not really that good.
Yeah.
A Captain Marvel serial, which DC didn't even own at that point.
Yeah.
And 2 Batman serials. That was it. There was this was uncharted territory.
And
so this was really an experiment in, was this gonna fucking work?
Yeah.
Could Hollywood do this?
And work it did, because this was a worldwide phenomenon. I'd actually argue on par with like Star Wars or some of the other big blockbusters.
My aunt remembered this coming out. This was a big deal.
Like not just for comic book people, but for like cinema as a whole. Because no one and it all basically hung around, could they make him look realistically like he was flying? That was like the big thing. And
I actually think no one has been able to match Reeves, because he put the effort and the work into making it look. You know, he didn't want it to look cheesy or anything. He wanted it to look real. And I think that was why they were it was so impressive at the time.
Yeah.
To the point that it still holds up today. It still looks really, really good.
The thing is, like, and one of my only critiques of CGI anything is that they never really show the weight of someone flying. Like, you know, like, as much as I love the MCU, a lot of times when these characters fly, you don't really feel like they adhere to, like, gravity or physics.
Yeah, whereas Reeves, you know, you can see him twisting and stuff, and, like, you know...
Yeah, like, he puts
it makes sense.
Yeah, like... And granted, like, a lot of Superman shows, I think, still use the way Reeves did it to an extent. Like, they always... unless it's, like... I think, like, even, like, as much as I don't like to give Man of Steel credit, that scene where Superman flies for the first time does feel like something, like, Superman-y.
Well, and I also think the Supergirl TV show did a pretty good job with it.
Yeah.
Same with Superman and Lois. I think both of those have done a pretty good job at showing it. Yeah. But it definitely, nothing matches Reeves.
No, and it's kind of a shame to think nothing has done that so far in, like, the 4 decades since this movie has come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, and again, it's a very simple story. You know, it starts off with, you know, the dying world of Krypton.
We go blow for blow with the iconic stuff. We get the destruction of Krypton. Clark growing up, learning his powers, moving to the city. You know, we go blow for blow with basically what the comics are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we get the big scene where he saves the day, and also breaks every fucking law of physics I've ever fucking seen. but again, like, and not to dive too much back into something we've already covered, but
Yeah.
I think what you said, it's a simple story. I think that's why it works so well. They didn't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, like
It feels like a comic book. It feels like a comic book movie.
yeah, like they don't need to like go into detail about why his powers work, or go into long spiels about how he you know, he should use his powers or not. Looking at you, Snyder. And you know, we have a Jonathan.
I would love if that's the fucking thumbnail it picks. It was me flipping a bird.
Yeah, like, we also don't, like, have long time spending with him, like, in the Fortress of Solitude. Like, it's there to teach him how to use his powers, like, to kind of give him knowledge of his people.
Oh, damn it, I wanted to see him adopt Jimmy Olsen and say he's a fucking terrible kid. Like, some of those out of context ones.
Jimmy, this present's terrible. I'm going to destroy it to teach you a lesson. But why, Dad? I mean, Superman.
The fuck is this? But yeah, and out of the OG Superman movies, I definitely think this is the best one.
Oh, it absolutely
Its simplicity,
is.
it feels fresh. You know, I think leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And yes, pun intended. It's the best one. It doesn't matter which cut you watch. If you're watching this, the 2000 director's cut, the 3-hour extended TV cut, which I got because that was a made-to-order thing. I like that Warner Brothers has that, but that's not even, like, you can't commercially buy it in a store.
Didn't you have to, like, import that? Because it was, like...
No, I bought it through Amazon. It's on Warner Brothers label, but it's made-to-order, so they don't produce them mass. It's just that, like, you order it, they make it, and they will send it to you.
So I think you said you had to import one of the Superman movies. Like you had to get, like a UK one or something like that. Was it the Supergirl one?
No, it was I know what you're talking about. That was no, that was The Boys. That was The Boys season 1 I imported.
Well, no, I remember. I thought you talked about one.
I've gotten stuff imported before. It's not hard.
Maybe you're just telling me it was hard to get Supergirl. I forget.
It was hard to get Supergirl because I was looking for the director's cut. The director's cut has never been reissued on Blu-ray.
I think that's what I was thinking.
That's what it is. Which I do have that. I found that up in Erie, but yeah, that one's hard to find because that's just not a print.
Yeah. Also,
because nobody watches that fucking movie. One of these days we'll review that. But so moving on to Superman 2, since I think we stayed on the first movie long enough.
AKA
if
the
you
only
want
other
more of our
one.
thoughts, please watch our reflections on watching it in the theater. Somewhere on the channel. I don't remember what number that is. It's part of Hyphen reviews, but
yeah.
So moving on to Superman 2. And this is where things get pretty complicated behind the scenes. So the first movie was a massive success.
Yeah.
So obviously a sequel, they already had half of it shot, no brainer. The problem was Richard Donner and the I can't remember those two guys' names. The father and son that made the movie.
No, I know who you're talking about.
What are those guys' names? Hold on. I actually had the Superman 78 wiki page up because I was looking up something. It was the We're totally a professional show, can't you tell?
Yeah.
Salkind.
Yeah, the Salkinds.
The Salkinds. The Salkinds and Richard Donner had some disagreements behind the scenes, and it eventually led to he was let go, Richard Donner.
Yeah.
And they brought in Richard Lester, best known for directing the two Beatles movies, Hard Day's Night and Help. And he had actually been on set for the first movie. He was a creative consultant towards the end, so he was kind of familiar with the material. But the decision to let Donner go really kind of tainted the production of this. Like, we had a lot of the cast refused to come back and do stuff. Like, Margot Kidder actually had her role greatly reduced in the third movie.
Yeah.
And the fourth movie because she completely, backed Donner.
Yeah.
I think the only person to show up at the premiere of this was the female actress that plays opposite of Zod. I can't think of her name.
Well, I know her the character's Ursula.
Yeah, I can't think of the actress's name, but she was really the only one to go out and do the publicity for it. Everybody else didn't do it because they were, more a fan of Donner.
Yeah.
So, that it led to, like, there was a lot of, the stuff that Donner had shot felt very much like the first movie. And then the stuff that Lester shot, it was a toss-up. There was a lot more, like, slapstick stuff, a little more comedy. I know he went back and reshot some stuff that had already been filmed just so he could get the full credit.
But that bastard wants stock in Superman peanut butter, too.
But so when this movie came out, it was kind of like, there were people that thought it was a disappointment compared to the first movie. There were some people that thought it was just as good. So it was a toss-up. But it was very controversial, all the stuff going on behind the scenes. And then years later, Richard Donner was actually given the chance to go back and re-edit the movie because they found a lot of the footage that he had shot, like Warner Brothers still had it stored. And they went through the process, of restoring it and going through it.
Which I want to say is like one of the first really big, well-known director's cuts.
Yeah, besides Blade Runner or Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
But so that became Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut.
Yeah.
Which was more a version of the movie that was very much closer to what Donner's original vision for it was.
Yeah. Although he still
more or less. There was some stuff in there that like I think the biggest thing is the shots of the city streets. You can tell that shit was shot in like 2003.
Yeah.
It was not old footage.
Yeah.
Or they reused footage from like one, or they reused outtake footage. So it wasn't perfect. But it was a lot closer to what he would have done back then.
Yeah, because I know the thing that annoys people the most is they do the ending again where Superman rewinds time again.
And again, breaks every fucking law of physics as far as I know.
And sadly, it still keeps in the really weird mind erasing kiss that he uses on...
What are you talking about? That's perfect. Superman's got all these other weird-ass powers from back then. This totally makes sense.
Well, all I'm saying is if he erases...
He's got super mathematics.
If he erases...
What are you on about?
If he erases her memories, why doesn't he just go up to Lex, auger his tongue in Lex's mouth, and just erase his memories of being evil?
Because, damn it, I gotta beat on somebody every other fucking week.
Oh, come on. This Lex Luthor sucks. Because he's based on the stupid...
Listen, Adam, we all need job security. He's definitely going for job security.
Oh, yeah. Because it's not like he can't, like, stop typhoons or change the course of mighty rivers on a daily basis. He needs to beat on some bald motherfucker because it makes him feel
Damn
better.
it, then the environmentalists are going to be pissed at him.
Oh, who gives a shit?
But anyway,
in a couple movies, he's going to take away the world's nuclear weapons.
We get there when we get there. But, the thing that's interesting about the Donner cut is that's kind of become the standard version of the movie since its release. One thing that...
Which is why
I was initially hesitant to get this. Let's talk about how many versions of this fucking movie I have.
There is a lot.
I have the OG one. I have it on DVD. I have it on VHS, an original one too, by the way. I bought that up in Erie, without the case, but it's an OG copy. No commercials or anything in the beginning of it. Same place I got the Supergirl tape, which I don't normally play either of those because I'm afraid those are going to come out. They're not going to come out of the fucking VCR.
No, that's fair.
But, I bought the DVD collection that was kind of like this, but it was 6 discs. Didn't have a lot of the supplemental materials, didn't have a lot of the bonus.
Yeah.
Which just the movies.
I don't know if we mentioned or not, this is a 14 disc. It has like documentaries and shit in it.
In addition to 2 documentaries, Bryan Singer video journals for the making of Superman Returns, George Reeves and Superman and the Mole Men, the complete Fleischer Famous Studios 1940 Superman cartoons, commentaries, a rare TV pilot of Super Pup from 1958, featurettes, archival footage, and much, much more.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know it had all that other shit. It also had the fucking Fleischer cartoons, which one of these days we need to sit down and
for
just...
For $14, holy hell.
No, like, we're going to
have to sit down. That's definitely going to be, we put those up on a screen with the projector. That's got to be it.
Yeah.
So I bought the DVD set just to have all of them.
Right.
Because I only had, I think at that point I only had the first one, and I had 3 on tape.
Yeah.
Which I remember when we did my VHS collection originally, you were like, "Why is that the only one you fucking own on tape?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I never ran across the other ones.
Which says something, because when I used to rent these at Hollywood Video, they didn't have the first one, so I would just rent the second, the third, and the fourth.
Which is really weird. They didn't have the first one. But
it really was.
But anyway, and that one had Superman, the director's cut, Superman 2, Donner cut, Superman 3, Superman 4, Superman Returns. That's it.
Yeah.
Then I was like, man, I'm really kind of curious because I'm one of those guys. I like watching different cuts of movies. I like seeing the differences.
I mean, as do I.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So then I was like, damn, where can I get the theatrical cut of Superman 2? The answer is you had to buy another set. It's not just you can buy it on your own.
Yeah, that's about right.
Which is really fucking weird. But, so then I bought the Blu-ray set. And the first time I bought it, it was undeliverable and I got a refund. So then I bought it again and they finally gave it to me. And that had pretty much everything this has. Like in terms of movies. It has Superman the movie, Superman the director's cut, Superman 2, Donner cut, Superman 3, Superman 4, Superman Returns. Had everything. Didn't have any of the other supplementary stuff that this one has. So it's weird that like I have like 3 different sets of just the fucking Superman movies. And meanwhile, the Batman movies, that set is the fucking same no matter what format you buy it on.
Yeah, it's really annoying how like that.
There's no supplementary material for that shit.
Like, we don't get to see anything from Tim Burton or
I'd buy a set that had all these supplementary, because I don't think the 4K added anything.
Hell, I'd like they just fucking released the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever.
Yeah, which released the Schumacher cut.
Yeah, released the Schumacher cut.
I watched the hell out of that. But
I would.
But yeah, but it's just interesting that this is really one of the only other thing I think compares to this in terms of just how many different fucking versions of it.
Yeah.
It's probably the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, I would say.
It's the only thing I can think of that compares to this because nothing else has this many different fucking sets with this many different bonus things and stuff you can only buy on one set.
Well, not only that, just like so many different versions of the fucking movies.
Yeah, and again, like this doesn't have the 3-hour TV cut of the first one.
Yeah.
And there's also TV cuts of 2 and 3, which Warner Brothers has not put on Blu-ray. Which give them time, they'll probably find it.
Yeah. You know, even if it's just we're putting the TV cut stuff.
Because the fucking first one was they found a master of that, and they didn't know they had it. So they were like, okay, put this shit out. We'll make some money on this.
It's kind of funny. I was watching, as an aside, I was watching a video about all the different dubs of Dragon Ball Z. And it kind of is like this about how many fucking
different versions there are.
But so yeah, so getting into the actual plot of Superman 2, if for some reason you haven't seen Superman 2,
yeah, which we won't touch on the summaries of the. We'll summarize them. We're not going to get too in.
Yeah, basically.
No, and obviously, we're not tagging spoilers. These movies have been out since the fucking 70s and the 80s. Why haven't you seen these?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure most superhero fans have watched these.
I don't even tag shit that's a year old.
Yeah. But basically, the villains that were put into the Phantom Zone in the beginning part of Superman 1, General Zod, Ursa, and the dude whose name I never fucking remember because he's super pointless to the plot.
But had them, they invade the White House.
Yeah, but like, let's be honest. The only 2 you remember from this movie of the 3 of them are Zod and Ursa because they were banging. Let's be honest.
But Adam, what about Krypton?
The only importance to Krypton is that it fucking blows up. The end. We don't need a fucking TV show about that fucking shit.
Krypton.
No, I know you and I argue about how I do not give a shit about Krypton, the TV show, because, like, who gives a shit? It blows up. That's all you need to know.
Non. You're thinking of Non.
Non. Yeah, Non. Basically, they get freed from the Phantom Zone because of... I forget exactly. Is it like a comet or something hits them?
Him flipping the time around does something with it. It's really convoluted.
Oh yeah, because I don't think they ever touch on it in the original theatrical cut.
They don't.
In the Donner cut,
they do, but even then, it's really fucking convoluted.
Basically, they get freed from
much
the Phantom...
like a comic book.
Yeah, they get freed from the Phantom Zone, which I don't think about. Do they recall what they're in the Phantom Zone, or it's just like a weird thing they're trapped in?
I actually don't remember.
Because I don't think they actually call it the Phantom Zone.
I'd have to actually go look it up.
Well, I'll go by the comic book.
We all know what it is. It's the fucking Phantom Zone.
Yeah. And for those of you who have been living under a rock for hundreds of years, it's basically an interdimensional space prison that the Kryptonians developed to put away like their worst enemies. I think in modern times they've said that instead of sending Krypto in a rocket, like a test rocket, like the old school comics, Krypto somehow ended up trapped in the Phantom Zone for a while.
What the fuck?
And like was watching Superman from inside.
This is even more
Phantom Zone.
convoluted than fucking Power Girl and Supergirl.
Well, because they always have to make it because like they don't want to bring all this other Kryptonian shit, but everyone loves Crypto. I love Crypto.
Man hurt boy. Dog love boy.
Crypto love boy. Crypto hurt man. Crypto good dog. But
the biggest bullshit is I have never gotten Streaky the Super Cat in a fucking thing.
Well, the fact that they haven't made a comic where it's Crypto versus Dexstar is for me the biggest bullshit. I want that so bad. But basically, they get out and they go to Earth because they are hunting down Jor-El's heir, a.k.a. Clark, a.k.a. Kal-El. And in doing so, decide that they will take over the Earth to make their empire. While this is all going on, Superman and Clark want to basically tell Lois that he's Superman and, eventually be with her. But he feels he can't, so using the technology inside the Fortress of Solitude erases his powers so they can be together. And that's more or less the plot of the film. So, and while I do admit this movie's kind of goofy in spots, it is probably my second favorite of the two.
It's definitely the second best one.
Especially just because, like, it's really cool seeing Superman go up against, like, other Kryptonians. Because,
not to mention, fucking Zod is great in this movie.
You will bow down before me! If not you, then your hands! And
we've quoted that at work before. I've screamed that at you in the cooler before.
Which is leagues above
the bullshit in Man of Steel.
I will fight him!
I'm like, bruh, you look like you missed leg day.
No,
Chill.
like, and especially because the Zod in this is not that intimidating.
He looks like a fucking high school art teacher.
Hell, I want to say he's shorter than Superman.
Like look at him. He looks like an art teacher.
I want to say he's shorter than Superman too, but man is an imposing motherfucker.
Zod is a hall monitor. He about to bust your ass for not having a pass.
Like, you will bow down before me. Kneel before Zod. Like, dude was like,
apparently, like, behind the scenes, that group, they stayed together. Like, the other two were scared shitless of him. They stayed in character the whole time.
Yeah, like,
so it's just like, holy fuck.
Because, like, for the record, Non is supposed to be stronger than Zod, and he's bigger than Zod, but yet
He's still as scared shitless as Zod.
I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure Ursa was fucking Zod, so it don't matter. Which, in comics, they actually did, and they had a kid, and then the kid escapes the Phantom Zone because he hates his parents, and Clark actually raised that boy for a while, and then DC was like, nah, that's too interesting. We're just gonna kill him off. In their infinite wisdom.
Cue that picture of Christopher Reeves fucking cry yelling at the end of one.
But yeah, no, and
you want me to make that the thumbnail?
It's just me going. Oh, you want to do the one with? No, please.
Well, shit, we already put George Lucas as the holiday special.
No, please make.
And that was the funniest shit.
No, please make weird constipated crying Superman the thumbnail.
Yeah, but I actually think Zod makes a much more interesting villain in this movie than Lex was in the first one. Yeah. Mainly because, like, I almost feel like there's, like, some real threat to Zod when he's on screen. With Luthor, obviously, Luthor is not anywhere near as powerful as Superman is. If Superman wanted to, he could crack that motherfucker like an egg.
Yeah, it's.
But, like, with Zod, man, there's some stakes here, They're matched. So I honestly think it makes it more interesting.
Yeah. Well, especially because
not to mention, you've got the tie back to him being mad at
Jor-El.
Jor-El.
Jor-El and the Elders of Krypton.
Yeah, so, like, it adds a layer to it that's more than just real estate scheme.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is...
Otisburg?
No,
Otisburg?
To be fair, a lot of the problems with that Lex is more because the modern version of Lex is so much more interesting than the Mad Scientist
that's
character.
just how Lex was back then. But you still get my point.
Yeah.
Zod is and for these films, Zod is a much more interesting villain.
Well, it's not just because he's as powerful as Superman, he's also as clever as Lex. So that combination makes him way more dangerous. And not only that, he also has two subordinates just as powerful than he is. So, like, like, Superman is powerful, but he also has to deal with basically three Supermen against himself. So it really does raise these stakes. And also I think it works to remind Superman of how different he is from the rest of the world. Like, because when these people show up like him, it really hits home how fragile this world is that he lives in. Which is why, one of the reasons why he eventually, in this movie, gets rid of his powers, because he wants to be with Lois. Which also sets up a really awkward and kind of awful plot point in Superman Returns. But what were your thoughts on the romance between Superman and Lois in this?
Again, I really, kind of just reiterating what we talked about in our video for the first one. I really like Margot Kidder and Christopher Reeve's chemistry.
Yeah.
I think they work really, really well together in playing Superman and playing Lois. And it's really a shame that, like, after this movie, Margot Kidder just kind of got the shaft in terms of showing up in the other ones.
Yeah.
Because I really think they had a lot of chemistry, and it definitely showed up very well on screen.
Yeah. It's just kind of unfortunate the way the plot ends, where basically Clark gets his powers back, and basically Lois in this is like, I can't handle it. So he erases her memory after the two of them banged. And it kind of comes off as a little messed up if you really think about it too hard. And again, the fact that Superman Returns ignores 3 and 4 and brings up the fact that the two of them had slept together and produced a child. And Superman basically acts like he doesn't know that that's his kid. But granted, that's more of a hindsight's 20/20 sort of thing. But
Well, that and, like, Superman Returns has its own issues.
Yeah. But Superman 2, like, that's like my only real complaint. I hate the way it ends, because it's just we have to reset things back to the status quo. Which is really my biggest complaint with the end of the film. Is just they have to return back to the status quo. You know, because Superman's not going to keep his powers gone the entire time. And, eventually, he's going to have to get rid of Zod, Ursa, and Non, because they can't stay here. And then the other being that Lex is in this movie, and he's just kind of there.
Yeah.
Because I guess Gene Hackman was contractually obligated. Which says something.
Well, he went back and he refused to do reshoots.
Yeah.
So that was just what they had. So
No,
they really could only use it because they asked him, and he's like, "Unless Donner's there, I'm not fucking coming back."
Which, I mean, fair. That night, I do know Gene Hackman is kind of hard to work with, from what I've heard about him.
Yeah.
But because I do think that because I've actually never seen all of the Donner cut.
I'll have to loan you my DVD set.
I've seen
the cheap one.
I know of the differences. I know, I think originally Luthor was supposed to have a bigger role in this film. Like, he was supposed to actually, I think, team up with Zod.
It's hard to tell because Donner never got the chance to make it at the time, so who knows?
But oh yeah, and he so basically his subplot is, I want to break into the Fortress of Solitude because I want the technology in there.
The fucking thing with the S, I'm like,
no,
wow, that was a minor inconvenience. That didn't stop him at all.
I was gonna try and you want to just talk about the cellophane S and how stupid that is?
Yeah.
Because everyone else has.
Wow, that was a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, that sure delayed you for a couple seconds, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm just like, what the fuck was the point of that? like in terms of just we just talked about Superman having dumbass powers.
Yeah,
the Silver Age, he just had all this random shit. That is up there with just in terms of just what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
what is that?
It adds nothing to the plot.
It doesn't even slow him down. It doesn't hurt him.
Yeah, he just gets right back the fuck
Yeah,
up.
it doesn't do anything. It's not like it stunned him for 15 minutes or some shit.
He doesn't even.
It doesn't do anything. What is that?
It doesn't even help him trick the bad guys into the power sapper. He tricks them into doing that on their own.
Yeah, it's just the fuck was that?
I don't care for the diner scene with the truckers that beat the shit out of him.
I'm okay with that, but
it's okay.
I'm kind of with you. It kind of is I can live without it.
Yeah, it's more like I could care less. It's also hilarious because this is where they start using the footage they had left of Jarrell's actor.
Marlon Brando?
Marlon Brando. I don't
Well, except
know
he's not in the original version. It's his mom, because they couldn't get Marlon Brando to do the fucking reshoots. So then they went back and redid it for the Donner cut. They put Brando back in.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of some of the later films, because I want to say either 3 or 4. They have some like leftover footage of Brando there too.
I know Returns does. I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, they had to, because Brando at that point was
dead.
And I guess they couldn't like use like a voice.
Actually, no, I don't think he was. He wasn't dead yet.
Well,
his last thing was voicing the Godfather film on the movie. Not the movie, the game.
Yeah.
The fucking game on a 360.
Well, yeah, but like
I didn't even use it.
I'm pretty sure at that point he was.
But yeah, he was very close.
Yeah, he was probably too. Yeah. But like I said, this movie is interesting and has some good ideas, but because of all the studio interference, you can tell where there's like plot points that they had in that they were going.
Plot points go to nowhere.
Go nowhere. Like again, Lex just being in the background. How Superman losing and regaining his powers kind of fizzles. Really, the only thing that I think is follow through to the end is the stuff with Zod.
Yeah.
Which, granted, that works because that was like the best part of that movie. Also the fact that like there's there's a scene that they deleted where Superman goes back to the White House and is like, "I'm sorry, I kept you waiting, Mr. President. I will never fail you again." Which I'm like,
okay then.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly not as bad as how in the 80s Superman would chat with Reagan. Because he's such a great president, according to whoever wrote Superman.
Yeah, so moving on to Superman 3.
The waste of Richard Pryor, as I like to call it.
I actually consider this film to be worse than Superman 4.
Oh, absolutely. I actually agree.
At least Superman 4 at times feels like a Superman movie.
Yeah.
3 is just fucking all over the place.
Well, because I guess people really like the comedy that was in 2. And to be fair, 2 has some really good funny moments. Like where Lois tries to convince Superman prove that Clark's Superman by throwing herself off.
Richard Pryor said he was a fan of Superman, and so then they called him up, and I'm like, that's no way to do this, but okay.
Like you can tell like right away when you watch this film, the first scene is literally like, it's like something straight out of like Groucho Marx or like the Keystone Cops, where you watch all these people see a hot woman, and it causes like a domino set of all these stupid accidents that happen. Which causes Clark to go into a photo booth and change, which leads to like taking pictures revealing him as Superman. And like a little kid almost finds out who Superman is, so he rips off the last one because it's just him, and he gives it. It's horrible. Because at least, with the first 2, you could tell that like they cared and were trying to do a serious film. Right off the bat, you see that it's no longer about being like a serious superhero piece. It's about being a slapstick comedy. And no offense to Richard Pryor, I think he's a great comedian.
Okay, he's fucking hilarious on SNL.
Well, and there's some movie season that are actually
they're fucking good. He's not funny here.
Well, the problem is they want him to do all this slapstick physical comedy. And that's not who Richard Pryor is as a comedian.
Richard Pryor is a rated R level comedian. Like you can't do that in this film.
Like he was like, if I were to go with other modern comedians, he'd be more like, I don't know. Like he was more about like stand up and like situational humor, and like talking about like the struggles of black people in the 70s.
Yeah, like not piling around with fucking Superman.
And he was flying around, and he went. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? What is this?
And then you get that. This is like, it shows that that's the only part of that movie I can remember is that.
Yeah.
And that really creepy ass scene where the lady gets made into a robot.
Oh yeah.
That is creepy as fuck.
Well, I do love the part where evil Superman fights Clark Kent, where like they get like,
okay, yeah, and that part. That part's probably the best thing in the movie. Is that?
But so the plot is,
it's like that scene in Star Trek, the OT, where where fucking Kirk's fighting the evil part of him.
Yeah.
That's really what it's like. It reminds me a lot of that.
So the plot in this is Superman goes back to Smallville because it's time for his school reunion.
Oh yeah, we get Lana Lang in this because Margaret Kidder has been written out of this movie.
Yeah. Which is there's like this bit of romance between him and Lana. Lana, of course, now has like a son from a marriage that failed. While this is going on, a new mad scientist, because they again couldn't get Gene Hackman back, so they just made up a new mad scientist for this film, works with Richard Pryor's character, who is a computer genius, to create a scheme with a supercomputer to steal a penny off of every electronic transaction in the world. Because, stay with me here, that would give them like billions of dollars somehow, because they're and no one would be able to catch them because it's just rounding a penny off. If you've ever seen the movie, it has it has Rachel from Friends in it.
I don't know anything that those fucking people are in because they're not funny.
Office Space.
I've never seen that.
Have you never seen Office Space?
No.
They make a joke about that in Office Space, and for the record, it's a stupid plan, and of course people will actually notice if like you just keep taking pennies. Eventually, it's gonna add up. But
anyway, like, definitely after 2, this is such a fucking misfire.
Yeah,
and I'm glad. I'm glad people at the time noticed that as well, because this movie did not get nearly as good as critical reception as the first two, and I definitely don't think it made nearly as much.
Yeah,
but it just shows that like over the years, like it's just kind of become like a joke. Because like when you think Superman, we're thinking like him being the main person in the movie. Dude, he's barely even a star in his own goddamn movie.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense?
And especially because it is a slow movie too. Because like we spend so much time with Clark just fucking around in Smallville. Like it is like, or watching the bad guys fuck around with Richard Pryor. Are you watching a Glengarry Glen Ross clip right now?
Hold on. Because listen, this is how I feel about that fucking plot.
What's the fucking point? In any case, I gotta argue with you.
You know what? Yeah.
What's the fucking point?
Yeah, like, cause you get what I mean, right? Like the.
That's why I pulled it out. I had to throw that in there.
Because like I get like that like makes sense on paper,
but then you watch it, it's like, what's the fucking point?
Well, then you really think about it, like, eventually though, like someone would notice, because that's still a huge amount of money. Like 10% is still a lot of money. But, like, and then, like, it's really weird because then the bad guys decide, because they can't stop Superman by conventional means, they make an artificial kryptonite that instead of, like, killing Superman,
just splits him. It
turns him evil.
Dumb.
Yeah, like, it turns him evil.
The whole movie is just stupid, honestly.
Yeah.
With a capital S. Stupid.
And also, I don't know what it is about the later films having weird sex stuff in it. Like, but then, like, the like,
well, because they had that scene in the first movie where she's like, "What color panties am I wearing?"
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, that. How do we go from that to this? This doesn't make any sense.
Well, you know what's...
I'm not seeing the jump.
Yeah, but you know what scene I'm talking about, where like the evil Superman has sex with like the bimbo like secretary of the evil scientist, and like, and it's really uncomfortable because
I'm trying to forget so much about this movie. You're just fucking making me remember. Why are you doing this to me?
Because it's our job.
No, it's 0 out of 10. Would not recommend.
But like I said, like if I were to give any positives to it, I really like the best scene is when Superman finally gains control of his body again from the evil Superman, and it's done really well by having the evil Superman, be in his Superman costume, and Clark, as he looks, and it's just a really intense, well done fight because it's about like Superman struggling to regain control of his dual nature. And eventually, saving the day. And that's kind of the only really good thing I can say for this movie.
Pretty much.
Because otherwise, it's really boring and not very funny. Like, that's the set. Like, And what gets
The fucking shit with him on his skis. I'm like, that shit's dumb. It's not funny at all.
Yeah,
like, I'm laughing, but it's not fucking funny. It's just stupid.
it's one of those
It's like some shit that like it's like filler material for a TV show.
you know what it is? It's that time where like you have this comedian and you're like, and they're like, we're gonna have you do just improv. Like you can just you are free to like improv jokes, and we'll film around it. Now that can work with some comedians like Robin.
It ain't
Williams.
working with Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
I'm
like
sorry.
Robin Williams.
Not with this material where he's got to censor himself.
Well, yeah, like it's PG.
Yeah, but
He just looks like an idiot. Like he's in like stupid disguise all the time. Like when he dressed up like the army guy to present the like fake kryptonite. Thank the Lord for Superman. I almost wanted Superman to be like.
I want to reach to that TV and just fucking slap the shit out of him.
Like I almost wanted Superman to be like, "Are you a bad guy?
Are you on drugs?
like,
Sir, I can get you help."
yeah, like, and poor Christopher Reeves, bless his heart, he is trying so hard in this movie to like present himself, and it's just so bad.
Moving on to the fourth one.
AKA,
I got nothing to say about the third one.
No,
I'm sorry. I have nothing nice to say besides Christopher Reeves trying his hardest.
yeah, like
So now we get to Superman 4, The
Quest for Peace.
which somehow is still a better movie than 3, and I don't know how. But anyway,
Now,
this was when the rights got sold to Canon Films, and where did most of the budget for this movie go?
other canon films,
Masters of the Universe.
yeah.
That's where the money went.
Yeah, because basically Canon was notorious for making films, but like taking budgets from those to make other films. Which they, joke's on them because, man, Masters of the Universe is fucking terrible.
When are we going to review that?
I would have to sit down and actually watch that film because
probably about the same time we reviewed Death Wish. It's just not going to happen.
I mean, to be fair, I would not mind us doing Masters of the Universe. It's not like Death Wish where that is way too uncomfortable, like material for us to review.
You're cutting me loose.
Yeah, like
I like Charles Brosnan, but man, I ain't sitting through that.
bottom line, the closest we're gonna get to Death Wish is when we do the Punisher films, because we can do that.
I can sit through the Punisher, but anyway, the whole point of this movie is super.
I want to say one more thing about this is also the movie that was written by Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, Christopher Reeve. This is how they lured him back. They gave him full creative control, and the whole point of the movie is Superman decides to get rid of nukes. That's the long and the short of it.
Yeah.
I can't sum it up any better. One sentence summary. Superman tries to get rid of nukes.
Yeah. To give a more expanded plot, basically a summit has failed with the United Nations, and I guess Russia's decided, well, this one summit failed. It's time to basically rev up our nuclear stockpiling, as well as the United States. Basically, it acts like we are on the brink of World War III. Which, I mean, to be fair, when this movie was written,
it's the 80s.
Yeah, so that was a fair assumption. Basically, a little boy from a school is like, I'm gonna write a letter to Superman because he could stop it. And more or less, the movie is about Superman.
Why's the kid got to write to him? Why the fuck didn't Superman do this? Oh wait, because it's not really his job to meddle in this kind of dumb shit.
I'll get to that because that's going to be my biggest complaint with this film. But basically, Superman, starts off, being like, I don't know what I should do. Even the Elders of Krypton that are put inside the Fortress of Solitude are like, no, it is not your job to control the lives of these people. You have the means. Just leave this planet. And also there's a plot point where Ma Kent has died in between films, so Superman has to sell the family farm, and he finds a magic crystal, which kind of looks like the magic crystal that made the Fortress of Solitude. Oh, and also Superman erases the spaceship he came in via the ability to soft edit it out of frame.
It's just again, what the fuck?
Oh, and also a plot where the Daily Bugle's getting bought out by a tabloid. and the guy who's basically just Rupert Murdoch. Like I won't like he's straight up.
Might
Rupert
as well
Murdoch.
put Dirty Laundry by Dawn Henley over this shit.
His daughter wants to bang Clark, so that we can have this really
Margot Kidder returns for like a brief minute.
yeah, so we can have this stupid scene where Clark has to date both of them at the same time and keeps having to change between being Clark and Superman. You know, like a shitty like 90 or like shitty sitcom plot where like a dude dates two girls at the same time. Come and knock on our door.
No, don't sing that. I hate that song. Don't sing that. No.
Well, that was the shittiest sitcom I could think of.
No, I know. But I'm over here whistling the fucking Friends theme. But
Yeah.
But
So
anyway.
basically, Superman decides, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the UN and declare myself Lord of the Earth by removing all of the nuclear arms from every government in the world. And every government stands up and claps, including places like the Middle East and China and a lot of other big. Never mind the fact that Superman is technically an agent for the United States 9 times out of 10. But whatever.
Christopher Reeve's fanfic takes a really weird turn.
Yeah. And while this is all going on, Lex Luthor and like all these nuclear arms dealers of the world are like, well, we need a war because it's us that are causing all these wars because we sell all the weapons, and not the fact that like there's intense global politics that are actually the reason why we have these nuclear weapons. No. It's the nuclear energy, people. So Luthor steals a strand of Superman's hair, puts it in a nuclear rocket, shoots it into the sun, and gives birth to his own nuclear-powered Superman, who for some reason needs to be powered by the sun.
And also, there's a cut plot. There's two.
Yeah.
The first one gets cut out.
Because he was basically Bizarro.
Yeah, the first one gets cut out. Then they make a second one who like looks like some WWE shit. There's no other way to say that.
And who's dubbed over by Gene Hackman because for some reason him creating this monster makes him sound like Gene Hackman.
Yeah, and it leads into us fighting on the fucking moon, and I'm like, what the fuck?
And also for some reason the nuclear arms are all back despite watching Superman get rid of all these missiles, and Superman goes, "You'll have peace when people of the world want it so bad," because it's not the shitty politics of the time. It's just people don't want it enough. And the movie ends reusing the ending of the first film because they were out of budget. And that's Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
Does it actually do that? I don't think it actually ends like that.
It literally reuses the same shot at the end of Superman 1. Like, they reuse a lot of shots from Superman 1. Like, they redo the entirety of
But that doesn't make any sense because they didn't have the rights to that.
Well, they reuse a lot of shots from Superman 1.
I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying,
Because, like,
I don't know if that was legal to do.
What do you think they cared with how much they stole money from studios? Like, I think they color corrected is like the only thing they do to it. Because like they completely redo the flying scene between Lois and Superman, but it's in the daytime, so it looks really bad. Because it's all blue screened. There's a lot of falling scenes that are clearly blue screened and they're not very good looking. Yeah, like they don't like. Yeah, like they basically just reuse the scene of. Yeah. They only the only scene that they reuse is like the very end scene where he like flies towards the camera.
Okay, it's been so goddamn long.
Yeah.
And honestly, when I was a kid, this was the only one I owned on DVD.
Yeah. But yeah, the special effects in this are like
ass.
Super cheap. Like there's only one shot for Superman flying, and it's him going towards the camera, and they reuse it. Like I want to say 12 times, and it's obvious. Like it's really bad.
Yeah.
The scene where like he saves the Russian cosmonauts in space also looks really, really cheap. In fact, most of the space shots look really, really cheap. Other points, my favorite scenes where Nuclear Man has these super sweet long silver nails, and he scratches Superman in the back of the neck. He's like, no, you cut my weave. Power fading. I've lost my drip. Which,
I'm gonna be honest, man. That fight at the end, it drags out.
yeah.
Oh my god, it's so fucking long, and it's not good.
My favorite
one
is
thing if it was at least entertaining, but it's
Yeah.
not even very good.
my favorite is the part where he's just blowing cars up, and Superman just stands there going, "Stop! Don't! The people!" And I'm like, "How about you fucking do
something, man. You're fucking
standing there.
Superman. Somewhere Batman is watching this is like, what the fuck are you doing,
Why
Clark?
just standing there? No, he's
Why don't
going
you
right.
help? It's fucking day. I can't come out. I'm Batman.
No, he's going for my aquarium. Dr. Fishy! No! I swear revenge on nuclear.
It would make more fucking sense than him just standing there.
No, like my favorite is when they're like wrestling with each other midair, when they're falling from the building, and like it looks so cheap. Like it's, or the scene where like he fixes one of the more infamous scenes where he fixed the Great Wall of China by just standing there and I guess psychically repairing the wall.
Again,
Which
more of this Silver Age shit.
well, and to be fair, that was because they ran out of budget. When they went in and fixed it, it actually is supposed to be that he's rebuilding the wall with his super speed, but they didn't have the budget to make the blur, apparently. So they just...
Damn, you guys couldn't have done what episode 4 to just smear something across the lens?
Yeah,
But anyway.
No, like, and again, like, there's so many plot points in this that go nowhere or are not
They
that...
cut the first Nuclear Man out.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I wish they would have actually kept that one in, because that would have
I
actually...
wish there was a cut that added that back in.
Oh, the fact that Lex has a nephew named Lenny Luthor, played by Joan Cusack, or John Cryer, aka Alan from 2.5 Men. Oh, admittedly, and he is so
Fucking annoying.
it's the dude of steel. Oh,
Why is he talking like Thor from that one Incredible Hulk movie?
You know what he sounds like? He sounds like Valhalla from the Super Friends.
Oh
from
my
Dexter's
god, he
Laboratory.
does actually. Now I think about it, yeah, he does.
The
He
frag-
definitely fucking does. But and the sad part is with all these issues, it still is
Yeah.
more of a Superman movie than fucking Superman 3.
Because at least it's something you'd see in the comics where Superman fights like an evil version of himself. I
Yeah.
wish it was actual Bizarro, but at least Nuclear Man is...
You had to wait until Superman Lois for that to actually happen and be
Yeah.
really fucking good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, Superman the Anime series actually didn't do too bad.
Well,
with
I'm just
Bizarro.
talking about live action.
But yeah, you're...
But so, I give Christopher Reeves credit. I'm sure it wasn't easy doing the writing, the directing, and starring.
Yeah.
So for that, props
Yeah.
where props are due. But man, it's just not a very good movie. Like,
Which...
it's sad that like we started at the peak and we went downhill.
And not just downhill. It wasn't like a
Superman
slow
got hit with a rocket
Yeah.
and it just fell.
It is literally an avalanche all the way down.
Yeah.
And it says something, because I actually seen the comic adaptation of this film, which adds in a lot of the deleted scenes. Like, they actually do the first Nuclear Man. The original ending in that book is way better than this one. Because basically, Superman goes on TV, it takes the little boy into space with a spacesuit, because one of the plot points is that little boy disappears like halfway through the film and we never see him again. He takes him up into space and he brings him up and he basically says, all right, now Tommy, do you notice how there's like no borders like how you see on maps? World peace can only be achieved when we all realize that those borders don't matter and we're all one people on this earth and it's the only thing we like. Basically,
That's infinitely better than the shit
Yeah.
that is actually in the movie.
it's Superman making the message of, I can't just fix this problem for you guys. We all have to fix the problem. Because I know a lot of people that is the biggest problem with this film, is that Superman actually, he is the ruler of this planet.
That's not how Superman does.
Yeah. You know,
How he does things.
like, because you've seen Superman versus the Elite. That's like his whole point of why he doesn't want to, why the Elite are bad, is that they treat themselves like they are gods. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it does not understand geopolitics at all. Is the biggest problem with it.
Yeah. So,
Like again, we see like the Iranians being like, "Yeah, take away our nuke, Superman. That will be great for us."
all right, man. So ratings time.
Oh, you don't want to talk about Superman Returns briefly?
We'll do Superman Returns for another movie. Like
Okay,
I think it's a good idea to keep the Reeves movies together.
That's fair.
That and Superman Returns, we're gonna chop the pieces. So in the interest of time.
Okay, that's fair.
So all right, ratings wise, the first one I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
I would also give it a 9 out of 10. It's basically the perfect movie.
Yeah. Superman 2, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's what
Pretty
I'll give
good, just not as good as the one that preceded it. 3, I'm gonna give a 2 out of 10 because fucking garbage.
it. Honestly, I'd probably give this a 1. I was straight up giving it a
And-
1. It is worthless.
Superman Quest for Peace, I'll give it a 3 out of 10, and I'm being generous.
I'm actually probably gonna give it a 5.
It's better than 3. It's recognizable as being Superman.
Yeah.
It's just not very fucking good.
Yeah, and even with like the cut stuff they try to put back into this film, it doesn't salvage the fact that the plot is very not understanding like the politics it's trying to do, which is such a shame because in my opinion Superman 4 has probably the most interesting plot of Superman dealing with like what can he do in these kind of global situations.
Yeah.
Like, should he actually intervene? Like, it actually could be done better in other places, and I've seen it better places. Again, Superman versus the Elite is one of those stories.
Yeah.
But it's just failed by the fact that the plot is very...
Did you give a rating for Superman 2?
Oh, I gave it... I think
Did you agree with me?
Yeah.
Okay, 8 out of 10. Okay, I want to make sure.
Yeah, I would give it an 8 out of 10. But yeah, like, overall, if I had to recommend any of these, just see the first two. Like, even Superman Returns ignores 3 and 4, as much as I enjoy 4. Just watch the first two. 4 if you're, like, sickened but curious. Just skip 3.
I'm sickened but curious.
Like, 3 is so bad, it doesn't even tie into the other films. Like, that is how throwaway it is. Would you agree? Like, those are probably the...
Yeah, just watch the first two.
And watch the Donner cut if you want to watch two, because honestly,
for the first one, it doesn't really matter what cut you watch.
Yeah, it's like again a perfect film. And if you have to watch anything else Superman related, just watch the animated series from the '90s
Or the Superboy show. The Superboy show is okay.
I always forget that you can actually find that because I remember that they used to be hard to find.
Lois and Clark, like
Yeah, Lois and Clark.
Smallville's up in is matter of opinion.
Not for me. Not for me. The only thing I think people, the only reason I think people defend it is because the fucking Justice League shows up in it. I'm like, no. There are better shows with the Justice League.
Yeah.
You can watch.
So, all right, guys, that's gonna do it. Tune in next time when we will hopefully review Miss Marvel. Hopefully, and other than that,
look forward to the 30-year anniversary.
30-year anniversary. We're finally going to continue our James Bond retrospective, which diving into the Roger Moore films.
Yep.
Long overdue.
Yeah.
But I would like to get that done.
Like it's really sad. We've been on George Lazenby for like a year. We're sorry about that.
Yeah, but so anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Average Joe Squad,
and I'm going to go get a jar of Superman peanut butter.
And as always,
we ask you,
remember the hyphen
and take care.